Hello and welcome to the 10,000 Call Project. I am your host of this adventure, Jimmy Dulin. I'm going to summarize this project, these calls, all of this with one word: perseverance. Because this has been like an outstanding week where I was feeling great. My calls were going smooth, dials were good. Um, but I'm just going to tell you that it, if you ever stopped and you got, like, I had a day, just to give you a great example. 80 phone calls, 11 people answered the phone out of 80, and I booked 2 appointments. If I did 80 phone calls one day and then I evaluated it and said, well, there's no way I could make it. If I could only get 2 appointments out of 80 phone calls and I want to add 200 people this year, I would have to call 16,000 people. Actually, that was 2 appointments. That wasn't even signing anyone. That was just an appointment. Um, I had a day where um, one appointment booked. So I guess perseverance. It's about getting through the entire process and trusting the process in order to analyze those results. I think we too often want to analyze the results before we've done enough activity to analyze. You can't analyze a day and say this is what it would look like for the year. You probably can't analyze a week and say this is what it would look like. So it takes time, and I think that people too often give up on the activity that would bring them the results that they want if they only stuck with it. So um, I will say that man, this is May. I'm going to say April was tough. Last month was a tough month on me. I don't know why, if it was just that I was 4 months into the process. I can't answer it. But I can say that May has felt pretty good. And, we're getting close to the end of May, obviously. But I felt like this month was good. So last week, 214 phone calls, 50 conversations. So that's 25%. We're typically 40 with 10 conversations. So that was an upgrade. 14 appointments booked out of 50. So that was down a little. 6 appointments I had for the week and 3 cancellations. 1 application for the week. So yeah, it was 2 applications for the week. 2 applications for the week. So it was a pretty good week. But again, if we break the subset down too far, that it doesn't give us real live results, or at least not measurable results that are valuable. So make sure you don't put expectations on short-term expectations on what is a long-term process. And the growth of an organization, whether it is through an EXP like I'm on, where it's rev share, or you own a franchise and you're attracting agents to your brokerage because you're the broker owner. It doesn't really matter which. It's just not a short-term process. It is the facts of the matter is if you're in the real estate business, you're always trying to grow, because if you're not, you are inadvertently shrinking, because agents don't just walk in the front door to join, but they do walk out the back door, because people age out, they retire, the grass is greener somewhere else, they pass, life changes, whatever the case may be. So you'll have to, in order to grow, it's going to be intentional. It's going to have to be mindful and purposeful. But in order to shrink, all you have to do is ignore the the activities that helped you grow, and then you're bound to shrink. It just happens naturally. So anyway, great week. Can't wait to see what the month looks like as we wrap up next week. Can't wait to see what this month looks like. But so far, I think a really, really fun. I had a Zoom call with, I don't know, 12 agents around the country. That was pretty cool. Got to present to a bunch of agents that were in other parts of the country. Yeah, just seeing all of it. I told my wife, we were talking about it, and I just feel that momentum, that natural momentum from doing the right things. It's kind of like if you, I lost 50 pounds after our son was born. During the time between our son being born and our daughter being born, I went on Weight Watchers, and because I gained a bunch of weight when we had our first child, and I lost 50 pounds, which was one of my kind of personal greatest accomplishments. I went from 198 all the way down to 148 pounds. But I didn't do it overnight. It was Weight Watchers is what I did. I followed their program, and it was checking in every week. And some weeks it was 1/10 of a pound. It was 2/10 of a pound. It was, some weeks it was a pound, but it was a long process of ups and downs. And that's what I'm doing with this growth. It is going to be great weeks. It's going to be tough weeks. I don't know. I haven't had a week where I went backwards yet. But that could happen. I could lose more than I gained for the week. So that's certainly a possibility. But the bottom line is it's a process that you've got to commit to over the long haul. So thanks for following along. This is the 10,000 Call Project, as I said. I appreciate you being here. Please share this with someone if you think it'll help them. Follow, whatever the term is for YouTube, but I'd love to have you participate. If you got questions, feel free to call me anytime, message me, etc. I'm happy to share anything that I'm doing. It's not rocket science. I'm just willing to do what other people aren't. That's it. Take care.